Hello, hello, Cancer. This is going to be a general reading for anybody that's Cancer sun, moon, or rising sign. So today I'm going to do a different reading. It's a 3-card spread. It's going to be what is your current situation, what obstacles are you facing right now, and what advice do the cards have for you. So let's see. What is your current situation, Cancer? And what obstacles are you facing, Cancer? And what advice do we have here? So the card that I pulled for your current situation is Ace of Pentacles in reversed. Now, whenever I see a reversal card, it always makes me think that someone is in their head. I think of reversed cards as blocks, usually internal or external, and I generally notice that they are internal blocks. So this is kind of saying to me that you desire to have financial abundance, that you've been working really hard, you've been going to school, you've been, doing your best to build your financial empire. But there's something about you doing this that you're blocking right now. It's kind of like you're holding on to it, but you're not allowing it to actually breathe and grow. So, it could be that, for instance, if you're making a lot of money, but you're keeping it in your own bank account. You're not actually learning to invest it and to share it, or tithing. Tithing is really important if you want abundance to come. So, donating 10% of your earnings to a charity, putting a down payment on a mortgage. It's kind of like you are blocking the possibility of the work that you've done to grow into something even more. So that's your current situation. So your obstacle, now this is interesting. So this is the Star card. The Star card could represent someone that's in Aquarius. This is the card for Aquarius, which is someone whose birth date is, I believe, January 21st to February 18th. So the obstacle could be a person who is Aquarius, sun, moon, or rising sign, but it also could be someone that exemplifies the qualities of someone that's Aquarius. So it could be someone that's kind of aloof, kind of someone that's a bit of a know-it-all, maybe an inventor, someone that has a lot of interesting, unique ideas. That could be the obstacle. But it could also maybe be that you've been having too many bright ideas that you have not been able to focus specifically. So if if you're looking for financial abundance and you want to make your money work for you, that is great. Those things that I suggested to start growing your wealth. But it seems like maybe you're distracted by shiny things, or objects, or ideas, or innovation, or so the next big thing. Yeah, it's really great. I love innovation and new ideas, but maybe it's kind of time to look at what you've done up until now and see if you can make the money that you've made, or the material world that you've built for yourself work for you right now, as opposed to getting wrapped up in maybe some creative, not necessarily creative, like innovative ideas that are like, it would take a lot of work to get the financial abundance that you desire. And not to say that this is for a forever thing, but I think right now, taking into account all the things that you've done up until this point, it feels as though making that money work for you before you start entertaining all these interesting, innovative ideas first. And then maybe once you have a little more financial security, your material world is really, really stable, solid. You are extremely financially abundant. That maybe you can start looking at all these other little ideas and innovative like sparks to focus on, and then continue to grow your empire. And then the advice, similar to what I was saying, but it is the Fool. So the Fool is part of the major arcana as well as the Star card. So this is telling me that right now, what is going on in your life is pretty important for your spiritual growth, your life purpose growth. Like this, it's a very important time in your life. I considered major Arcana cards to be reflecting life's major events and changes. So it's not to take lightly what's going on right now. And the Fool is the first card in the major Arcana. So it's kind of like stepping off into stepping into your new world with abandon. You can see just like with this character on the card, they're just about to take a step off the cliff. They have no worries in the world. So I think within regards to the other two cards that I pulled, that yes, you want to, continue to build your financial stability. We're saying to not allow yourself to be distracted by shiny things, but it's also asking you to be vulnerable like the Fool, to kind of go at things with a little bit of a naivety. You may have learned a lot up to now. You may have made certain decisions that have really worked for you, that has started to build your financial empire. You've been working hard for a long time, and that is amazing and commendable. But sometimes we end up knowing too much, and we stop allowing things to work in our favor. So it's kind of like we know the answer before we take the action. And this card is kind of saying, like, maybe you know to invest, or to tithe, or to donate to a charity, or start a charity, or whatnot. All these things, but you might not actually be doing it because you're like, oh, well, that's not going to be beneficial to me. Like, I know that I've done this before. It hasn't worked in the past. And so I feel like right now it's like you need to have a bit of a beginner's mind, which is what the Fool is suggesting, and go at building your financial empire as if you have not had any mishaps and any other failures in the past. It's kind of like pretend that everything that's happened up until now hasn't happened, and start afresh, start anew, start with naivety, start with a fool's mind, and see whether or not you might have some different results. Because you've had life experience up until now, and yes, they've shaped you, and yes, they may have allowed you to be successful up until this point. But if you've had any negative setbacks or anything less desirable, they may be preventing you from taking the leap of faith sometimes that you may need to take in order to be even more successful. So Cancer, I hope that it has served you well, this reading. If you want to subscribe, that would be lovely. Just press this little button over here, and I will see you again next month. Take care.